What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Two things. First one is I actually filmed the second part to the Pressure Washing 101 series. I went back, watched the videos, and it's just awful. That's not what I want to put out. I just kind of get mumbling and get on a tangent about things and just go off kind of into my own world about it, and that's not the type of content I want to put out to you guys. I'd rather put out quality content than a bunch of videos. Second off, you guys are now seeing this on a Monday. If you are watching it on the first day it uploads, it's now uploading on Mondays. I put a poll out to see what you guys thought, and most of you guys voted that you guys didn't really care. It was kind of up to me. But I dove into the analytics, and more of my viewers are online like throughout the weekdays in the evening time. For Eastern Standard Time, so like 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night during the week, which is kind of ironic because that's about the same time that I'm usually watching YouTube as well. I chose to do an upload on Monday at 11 a.m. to just kind of see and just kind of gauge the viewership. But you guys obviously see the title, so let's just dive right in. All right, so we got a 6x12 trailer, and I'm going to run down from front to back. We got it hooked up. We got to go charge the battery and get everything ready for tomorrow. We got a job tomorrow, so you guys will actually get to see that video as well later on at some point. So working our way from hitch to the gate. First things first is it is a 6x12. It is 6 feet wide by 12 feet long. Some of them you'll see listed as 77 by 12. And that is the inches, 77 inches wide, so actually 6 foot 5 inches, and then of course 12 is 12 feet long. So starting up here at the front is our soft wash system, housed in a Harbor Freight tongue toolbox. It has 2 switches because I bought this one off of Amazon and it did not work. I tried different wiring, I tried all the wiring in the world, it did not work. So I will not be putting the link to this in the description because it sucks. This one, however, does work. So we got a dummy switch and the actual switch. And it's got a cover. Then we got our charging port. So this is what charges the battery. That you plug an extension cord into, and then it runs through into the charger into the battery. Here we go. So what we have inside, we have our Deep Cycle Marine battery. Shout out to my brother Daniel for getting this to me. Thank you. Toolbox with kind of all the essentials in it. Got, let's see, needle nose pliers, tubing cutters, extra washers, zip ties, extra fittings, O-rings, just any kind of like oh shit kit that is in here. Then we got the battery charger itself, which is a Noco Genius 5. I'm sure you guys have seen some of these on the Southeast Soft Wash. They have a 10, like a double bank 10. This is a 5. You can get these at, I'll have a link in the description, but I got mine at Academy Sports, actually. But this is plugged up right here, and this goes to the thing, and I plan on cleaning these up. They're a little sharp. But positive wire from the pump, positive wire to the battery, negative wire to the battery to the pump. Pretty simple. I'll have a video on how to wire a soft wash pump later. But there's that. Got our 20-inch Simpson surface cleaner hanging out on the side. It does not move. I have driven highway, back roads, bumpy roads, any kind of road. It just sits there. It's perfect. Moving over here, this is our chemical line, chemical hose and hose reel. And guys, this I can go over pricing in another video if you want me to, but this is a very like budget-minded setup. I've said it before in other videos that I actually ran out of the back of my truck. Not this one. I'll put it up right now. So I ran everything out of the back of that F-250 So when I decided to go to a trailer, I didn't want to go overboard on it and spend a bunch of money and not like it. So I did everything with the fact that it's budget and I can upgrade later. So these hose reels are $100 at Tractor Supply. Sure, that's it. Yeah, Tractor Supply. You can get these at Tractor Supply. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them other agricultural places. And they work great for what I need. You can start to see where the chemicals kind of drip down and got into it. But this thing has lasted almost 6 months now. It's pretty tough for what it is. Soft wash gun. It's home built. This hose I will link in the description. Everything on here that I bought, try my best to put a link in the description so I don't have to keep saying it. That way you guys can go on there, you can kind of figure out what you want, what you don't want, if you like it. If you don't like it, you can get one. I will not get any money from it. It's not an affiliate link. It's just a link to help you guys out. Anyway, built my own soft wash gun. You can look up how to do that stuff. You can buy them from Southeast Soft Wash. You can make your own. They're fairly simple to do. I may do a video on that as well later. This hose right here is actually, so when you go on their website, you have to order it in 300 feet. It's 1/2 inch agricultural hose. It is rated for chemical. It will not, SH will not like kill it. So it is rated for agricultural pesticide use, and you order it 300 feet at a time. But it is a lot cheaper to order it 300 feet than it is to order like the other stuff at 200 feet. So this hose and this hose are the exact same hose. I just stretched it out, measured 150 foot, and cut them. So I have 150 foot of this and 150 foot of that. Right below it, going straight down, well, coming up to it, I guess. Here's your Remco 12 volt, the tried and true 12 volt, 5.3 gallon a minute pump. And I got to change that tonight. But this is the outlet, so it shoots straight up through here and into the hose, out the gun. Pretty simple. Moving on, I do not use this anymore. I actually had thought I would use this a bunch, but I don't at all. So I'm either gonna find a use for it, or it's just gonna sit here and look nice on the trailer. But it is just a garden hose, basically. Guys, these things don't have like locks, so guess what? I use zip ties. They work, they're cheap. It is what it is. But this is just a garden hose. It's plumbed directly to what you'll see later. It's plumbed like direct from the customer's house straight to this. So I thought I would use it mainly for like plants and keeping those hydrated and all that stuff. Have this hose pulled out, you know, spray your plants down. Take your chem hose, spray down your siding or your house or whatever, and then your hose for this is right there. You can go ahead and water the plants immediately. And if this had enough pressure, then you could actually probably rinse with it. But what I have found out is it does not. It cannot reach that far. It probably needs a 12 volt pump like that. But I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I don't use this anymore really at all. I just use the pressure washer. Right here, supply line. This is pretty sure it's 175 feet of just 0G garden hose. This is actually the same hose that you guys saw in the picture of my F250. This is the exact same hose, the exact same reel I used in year one. This stuff, I really, really like it. It's really easy to tell when the customer's water supply is weak, because this will be, I mean, it's obviously flat right now, but when this water supply is good, this will be really, really stiff. Like an actual, like this garden hose is stiff. This one will be just like that one when the water supply is pretty good. When it's not, you can actually take it and squish it in with your finger and hear it almost shut it off. So I really like this hose. I know a lot of people use Flexzilla. I have no problem with Flexzilla. I've never used it. so I can't say otherwise, but FlexZilla kind of has the same thing. But this is just 0G. You can get it at any Lowe's, any hardware store typically. And then moving on, at the last, we got the high pressure hose reel. This is the most expensive hose reel out of the 4. I'm pretty sure this one actually costs more than those 3 combined, which is junk, but whatever. But this one is obviously a high pressure hose reel. You can't really cheap out on and get one of these for this because it will not work. And then from there we have a jumper hose that goes straight down, straight to our pressure washer, which I got this jumper hose off of Amazon. And the first jumper hose I used in the back of my truck was junk and left marks everywhere and just like a nasty stain. This one, however, has been excellent. High pressure hose wise, you might could see right there's the difference. This hose is different than that hose. This hose I got at Northern Tool, and this hose I bought off of Amazon. This hose is in 50-foot sections, and that is a 100-foot section just by itself. You guys might have heard me on one of my previous videos talk about why I run what I run. But in a nutshell is if one of them busts or blows an O-ring or whatever, you can just take it out of the reel and you still have a pretty good amount to go. Which, as a matter of fact, in the back of the truck right now is a 50-foot section because the O-ring blew out. And I didn't really have time to finagle with the O-ring. So I just took it out and left this. It's still 150 foot. When I add that back on, it'll be 200 feet. So that's that. So that's hose reel, front to back. I set this up the way I did. I thought about putting the pressure washer up front like most people do, but I thought I might want that area for something. I also wanted kind of the shortest route from garden hose to the pressure washer. That's kind of how it's laid out on this side, and we'll move on. So customer's water comes in, customer's water supply. You can see the pressure washer back there. It is a 3.5 gallon a minute direct drive pressure washer with a Honda GX270. It's a direct drive. I will upgrade in the future, but for now it is what it is, and it does a great job. So that being said, it has to feed water directly from the hose to it. I know some people can get them to prime and get them to suck from the tank, but I just am not tried it, and I don't really care to. What works for me right now is working for me. So supply line comes in and goes to a 4-way splitter. That one goes to the pressure washer. This one goes up to the IBC tote. That one goes to the garden hose reel I was talking about earlier. And this 4th one, I'll show you. It actually loops around to right here. So I can actually take this out, and if I wanted to fill up a bucket, I can fill up a bucket. If I need to like rinse off anything, my eyes, if I get chemical on me, I can rinse off. I also use it to fill up my chemical tank. I typically don't fill it up before I leave. I just fill it up at the job site. So that thing is a do-it-all right there. Cones for safety, and like I said, we have a Honda GX270 with a 3.5 gallon a minute direct drive pump. This thing is an absolute menace for what it is, for how it's kind of the higher end of the residential units, but I mean that thing there is a beast. I love it. IBC tote I got for free from my grandpa. It's an automotive shop in the area, so that was free. I didn't have to pay anything for that, but you guys can get that for like $50. And then the chemical tank is actually a RV like freshwater tank, I believe, off of Amazon. And I bought these when I first started because I needed something that was height-wise was going to actually fit in the back of my truck with a tonneau cover. So I went and I found and measured and found these, and they're 55 gallon. I cut a hole in the top, and you can get those from Lowe's. They're like a PVC, and it just, as you turn the wing nut, it expands and tightens itself up. While this is running and filling up in it, or that's how I used to fill it up with water and stuff. But anyway, as this is like running, as it's getting suctioned from there to the pump, that is off so that there's air through it and all that. You'll see on the ad on Amazon, if you look it up, that you're you can't pressurize these things or else they'll explode. So I always leave that thing off as I'm doing anything with it. But traveling, it's locked so nothing spills out. One last thing I guess I'll show you is just how it's kind of set up to run to the pump. So you got ball valve right here and a PVC dipstick that runs down, and you obviously just turn this on and off. You can, so right now it's out, but this is the chemical line. It's got, obviously you can see, and you can see where the wood is kind of discolored from bleach getting on it. And then that line runs up and has a PVC dipstick down in the IBC tote. And then it's plugged in right now because I always rinse my pump out afterwards. So if you're wondering, why in the world do I have an IBC tote if my pressure washer can't suck from it, is because eventually I will, for one. And for two, I actually fill this thing up with about 50 to 75 gallons of water at every job. And then I'll use that water at the end of the day or at the end of the job. Guys, please do it at the end of the job. So by end of the day, I mean end of the job. I always take it and flow it through the pump in the system. 5.3 gallons a minute, 53 to 55 gallons. That's 10 minutes. That's plenty to rinse out your pump and keep it going. That's about it. Like I said, I can go through a cost breakdown if you want me to. Everything will be linked in the description. One last thing, guys, is that 96% of my viewers are not subscribed. So if you made it this far, you might as well just go ahead and go down there, hit the subscribe button. It helps me grow, and it might help you. If you enjoy the videos, you'll be able to keep watching and be up to date on them. But it does help me as well to grow. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.